Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. I hope that y'all are having a very happy Saturday. I just got on here because if you haven't seen the last video, go back and watch the last video. But I kind of started this series about my pregnancy and how God really showed up and showed out my entire pregnancy. But today, specifically, I am going to talk about my birth story, which was a very interesting one. Um, I was scheduled to be induced on a Monday. I was scheduled to be induced on the Monday, and so I went in on Friday for my last checkup. Just trying to see if Layla was in the right position. She in fact was in the right position. We had the green light, the go ahead to go ahead and be ready on Monday if my daughter didn't make her arrival before that Monday. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I was praying the whole time because I did not want to be induced. I really didn't, but I had some other things going on to where it was a possibility that I would have to be induced. But I was praying the whole time. I was like, Lord, I do not want to be induced. Okay, I don't want to do all that. Like, just let my baby come on her own. And so I was going through all the things, doing all the things. Don't If my mama get on here telling y'all about the pregnancy ball, just that's a whole nother story for another time. Anyway, we had to go ahead on Friday. By the time we got to Monday, let me back up. The whole entire pregnancy, like I was praying to God. I was praying every single day, not for my health, for my daughter's health, just for a easy delivery. And if you know me, you know that I do not tolerate pain very well. Lately I have been though. But so if you know me, you know that I'm not really a pain person. But in my head, I had the whole pregnancy, I prayed to God and I was like, Lord, I'm gonna do this natural. Like all natural. And again, if you know me, you know I'm not really a big pain person. Like I can't stand the cramp. So let alone contractions. But I had faith. I was like, God, go get me through this. I'm gonna go in here with all that. I had all the techniques. I had watched all the videos. I had brought the labor home. I had did everything. I'm talking about I had some big faith in myself or whatnot. I was like, I am not going in here and getting anything. I'm gonna do this all natural. And my family was looking at me like I was crazy. But I was like, y'all don't even know. I got it. Whatever. So I had this faith, but also I was praying that I didn't get induced. I get to the hospital on Monday. I think I had to be there at 7 a.m. So, so I told y'all that I had my daughter an hour away from where I lived at. So if I had to be there at 7, that means I left my house around like 5:45 ish, just to get there on time so that I can get into labor and delivery on time. We getting there. I'm all prepped. They got my IV going. They got they like ready. We're ready to go. So they do. The resident doctor comes in. She does the last ultrasound to see where my baby is. Like we're going through that, and there was a pause. Like when she was doing the ultrasound, like you know that there's like heaviness in the room when people just like stop. And like when she was moving the wand across my belly, like she had moved it too many times, so I knew that it was something wrong, and we all were like, okay, what's going on? And she was like, your baby's breached, like we're possibly gonna have to do a C-section. I just told y'all that I hadn't planned to do nothing else except for have natural birth. I hadn't looked up nothing about no C-section. Wasn't even thinking about it. None of that. And so in that moment, like I'm literally in tears because I'm like, what do you mean? Like she's breaching. She was like, and my mom's like, are you sure? Like, okay, if y'all know my mama, y'all know whatever. But she's like, are you sure? James is looking like we're all like, are you sure? She goes like she calls my actual doctor. They go through it. In fact, my daughter is breached. So I had prepared I had been so prepared, and then I ended up having to wait till 3 o'clock to have a C-section. And when I tell you like that time frame from this was maybe about like 8 o'clock when they were getting ready prepping me for everything. And so I had to wait those hours. That was like the most antagonizing hours I had to wait. I was like, God, I did not prepare for a C-section. But this is one of those, okay, be specific about what you're praying for, because I was like, Lord, I ain't don't have me induced, do not have me induced. But this is also a thing where I was like, God really knows me, because I had the C-section. The team was phenomenal. I mean, everything moved so fast, but like the team was walking me through it the whole time. They were laughing and playing, and it kept me in the space where like I wasn't worried. I was just okay. I mean, I'm talking about God had his hand in it the whole time. The team was phenomenal. And even my recovery was phenomenal. Like, I did not see horror stories about C-sections until after I had my baby. And I was like, that was so not my experience. Like, I experienced none of that because I had a phenomenal team. So shout out to the team at Ascension Providence. Well, I guess it's Henry Ford now, but that team at Southfield, and Dr. Moore's team, they did a phenomenal job. But I say that to say that, you know, God really does know us. He really does hear our prayers too, because I was like, I don't want to be induced. And I ended up having to do something that was probably so much better. No, I know for a fact that it was better for me. Even down to not even just the team that did my C-section, like the nurses that were making sure that I had, like, everybody, the janitorial team was amazing. Like, I cannot make up how God had his hand in my delivery story. I have no regrets. I think about it, and I literally tell people that it was nobody but God that brought me through that entire delivery. Even in the space that I was waiting, that was antagonizing, it was like, God, I trust you. You know, I trust that you get me through this particular thing. And it happened so fast. The team was assuring, and I could not be more thankful. So I don't know what your pregnancy journey is like. I don't know what your delivery journey is going to look like, but I promise you that if you pray to God about it, he will in fact hear your prayers. And no matter what, because at one point I was like, God, I just surrender. Because even when I was prepping, when I was telling myself like, oh, I'm gonna do this natural, I again, far from C-section. Like, I never thought that I would be having a C-section. We even had the whole conversations about if my mom had ever had any, like if I was ever going to have some complications that might put me in C-section. Like, that was the furthest from me and my physician's mind. But that's what it ended up being, and it was the best plan for me. But I also was surrendering in the same instance. Even though I was prepping, even though I was praying, I also was in a space where I was like, God, but if it be your will, whatever it is, I know that you will carry me through all of that. So I thank God for the doctor that he provided me with. I thank God for my family, my mom, my mother-in-law was there. Everybody everybody was there and did a phenomenal job, and there was nobody but God. Pray about whatever it is. Pray about it. Pray about it. I can't stress that enough. Pray about it, but also surrender to God's will. I hope that this story helps somebody. I hope that it encourages somebody, because not even just pregnancy do you have to surrender to his will. Anything in your life you have to surrender. And whatever you pray for, God will answer you. He will truly answer you. And even if it's not necessary, like, I didn't get the natural birth story, but I got the story that was right for me. God knows better than any of us could ever know. We might even think we know ourselves better than God does, but we do not. So I hope y'all having a happy Saturday. Until the next video.